This just in, you can buy real estate with none of your own money. Well, kinda. Let me explain.
I've been mortified, 45, feeling like a Mordecai. I ain't regular, feel like Jordan wearing 45.
Welcome to my channel. You know as well as I do that the most proven path to financial freedom is finding discounted properties. I am Brent Daniels, and let's jump into this no money down thing. The year is 1973. Robert Kiyosaki, the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, is sitting in a 3-day seminar, and it's titled Buy Property with No Money Down. After the 72 hours, after the 3-day seminar, they have to go out into the world and they have to find 100 properties that they are going to do their due diligence on, speak to the agents, speak to the homeowners, and find the best opportunity to buy with no money down. All right, one property filtered down out of the 100 properties that he looked at, and that property was an $18,000 condo in Maui, which is shocking. I mean, you're not buying that now, but it was an unbelievable deal. It was in bankruptcy, and he was able to pull $2,000 out of his credit cards and get a bank loan for $16,000 to purchase that first condo. Well, we all know the story after that. He ended up selling that property, buying property in Oregon, buying multifamily in Oregon, buying multifamily in Phoenix, and really the rest is history. His book came out, his game came out, and everything went absolutely bananas. And he kept investing in assets. It's critically important that you make sure that when income is coming in, you're putting it into assets. Let me put it another way. Have you ever played Monopoly, right? Well, you start out with a little bit of money, right? A little bit of savings so that whatever spots that you land on, you can buy. And the first spots that you land on are kind of inexpensive. And it's a smart strategy because it's good to find smaller properties that you can make some mistakes on first before you start buying in better areas and better price points, all right? Higher price points. But remember, you have to pass go. You have to collect the $200. That $200 is what you use to fund your real estate investing in Monopoly. It was the same thing that Robert Kiyosaki did. He just went after these properties and went no money down by pulling out credit. He loves debt. He loves finding these opportunities. He loves getting into them. And he loves, this is really, really, really important for everybody to hear. He loves buying at the right time when the market is rough, when it is going down or it is flat. All right? You can watch a ton of interviews that he does. He is buying properties. He's saving up, stacking cash, just like the game of Monopoly, until the timing is right and he can buy the right properties. And I think that this is a lesson that we all need to remember and learn. So let's get back to the strategies of buying properties with no money down, right? Now you can go out there today and you can go on the outskirts and you can find properties in less desirable areas. And you can work with those property owners and probably do some sort of creative finance type of deal where you can get into that property with nothing down because they're just done with it. They just want to get rid of that property. The question is, should you? The question is, what are the hidden costs that are involved in it? What is the condition of the property? What don't you know about the property? Should you be going out there and locking up deals in markets that maybe the economics don't make sense? Maybe there's not new industry going in to these smaller towns and smaller areas. I highly suggest that you look at getting as close to economic centers as possible so that you can get the longest lasting returns on your efforts. But you can go out there and you can go and find creative deals out there. All right, you can go and lock up a property and walk into it and pay a little bit of money for your title and escrow, or raise the funds from people that have it. As long as you're connected, as long as you are networking with other investors and you bring those deals to them, it's called a joint venture. A lot of times we start out joint venturing with people that have more money and we use other people's money, OPM, to be able to put down on these properties. But remember, you have to go out there and you have to find the deal. The deal's not gonna just fall into your lap. You have to go out there, be super proactive, and know what you're looking for. Right? You gotta look for signs of distress. And the fact is, 6 to 10% of the real estate market is in distress at all times. Good times and bad. It gets even a bigger percentage when it's a recession. So there's a ton of opportunities, but make sure that you're buying the right properties that are in the right areas so that it doesn't turn into a nightmare for you, right? You can go out there, you could do something creative. You could go out there and you can raise funds to be able to purchase properties. Or I'm going to give you a third option, what I consider the best option. Focus on finding great deals and selling them to people that already have the money, right? It's called wholesaling. Find these properties, put them under contract, and magically, as soon as you put a property owner under contract on a purchase agreement, guess what? You have an asset. You can sell that asset and start building up your war chest to go out there and buy the best deals. Not only that, but imagine this. Imagine if you go out there and you find an opportunity, you find a rundown property, it's vacant, it needs a lot of work. You don't have the capital to fix it up, you don't have the experience to fix it up, you don't have the contractors to fix it up, you don't have the connections with private money lenders that would lend on that property, right? Because a regular bank's not gonna lend on a property that needs a lot of work. It's too big of a risk. So you don't have any of those, but what you have is a willingness to go out there and talk to a property owner. You have the willingness to go out there and match that opportunity up with one of the other investors that does do flips, that does add to their rental portfolio on a regular basis, that is in a different financial situation, and they're willing to pay you $15,000, $20,000, $25,000, $50,000 for the right to purchase that property. You start with wholesaling. You start with the ability to go out there and find those deals and give those over to somebody else that's a few steps ahead of you. But what happens is you start building a really big bank account. And then what happens is you replace your current income so that you can go full-time in this business. Isn't that incredible? Could you imagine you unleashed 100%? You go out there for 60, 70, 80 hours a week looking for unbelievable opportunities, talking to different property owners and agents all the time, other investors all the time. It is inevitable that you're gonna find amazing deals. And then what you do is, once you go full time, then you start actually building a business out of this. Then you start hiring people to help you do this. And then all of a sudden, it's a year, 18 months, 24 months in, and you've got a business that runs without you. You've got a business that's giving you passive income, which is absolutely incredible, but you're smart. You're keeping your expenses down. You're not going over your skis. You're paying off all your consumer debt, so you're not just paying interest, right? You're staying really focused. You're not going out there and buying too many lavish things. Sure, you splurge every once in a while, but you don't go bananas, and you save that. And then all of a sudden, that right deal comes along, that unbelievable deal in a good school district, or that multifamily that you never thought that you could ever purchase because it was right in the middle of town. It's right in the perfect spot. It's right by the beach. It's right by where everybody works. It's where everybody wants to go, right? And you're able to purchase that property because you have the funds to be able to do it. And it all came from nothing. It all came from your efforts. You can go out there today, go on the streets, find an ugly house that's out there and go and knock on the door or get the phone number online for the owner, call them up and ask them when do they plan on selling that property. And then all of a sudden, out of nothing, out of your cell phone bill and some elbow grease and some work, some chopping wood and carrying water, you're getting infinite returns on what you have done. And then you create a business around that? That is absolutely incredible. And then you're making all these connections with all these people that are a few steps ahead of you. And then all of a sudden you're in those rooms. All of a sudden you're in on these deals. All of a sudden you're partnering with the top people around the country to buy the best real estate. This is how it's done. This is how it's done. This is how you build an unbelievable amount of wealth. But it starts with just going out there and being proactive. It starts going out there and being brave and having courage to have a quality conversation with the distressed property owner. You want to go out there and you want to find a creative deal. In my experience, most of the creative deals, 95% of them are going to be in rougher areas that turn into nightmares. I'm just giving you a warning. I hope we put a little warning sign on this when we edit this because it buries a lot of people. Or you could just go out there and you can build a strong wholesaling business that, one, gives you passive income that you don't have to work in all the time. You built the system. And two, you got to take the excess profits from that business and invest in the best real estate in your market. It's the way to go. I think it's so powerful. I love that it goes back to 1973 with Robert Kiyosaki going out there and looking at 100 properties, taking action, finding that opportunity. You can do the same thing right now, but you can go a lot faster. Robert Kiyosaki was not financially free until he was 47 years old. His goal was 40. It took him a longer time because back then there was no wholesaling. It was called bird dogging. And you got like $1,000 to find investors unbelievable deals. Well, the market's changed and you need to learn this skill. When you learn this skill as the foundation of your real estate business, you can do everything else. You can build that rental portfolio, you can build a fix and flip company, you can lend money, you can develop whatever you want to do. But learn the skill and build the business of finding discounted properties, and you're going to be unbelievable. All right? If I'm missing anything, any other no money down strategies, let me know in the comments section. I'd love to flesh those out in other videos. But this is just my way of encouraging you that you can go out there today. You can go find an ugly house and you can turn that into a big check. I love you. I'll see you next time.